What if you could win the most important battles of your life, in your career or your business, before they even really begin? Well, we're about to dive into a powerful, ancient framework that shows you exactly how.
We all face those giant forks in the road, right? Starting that business, making a big career change, launching that massive project. It always feels like such a gamble. Kind of like you're just flipping a coin for your future.
But what if it didn't have to be a gamble? Seriously, what if you could actually calculate your odds of success before you put your time, your money, and all that energy on the line?
So, part 1. Don't gamble on your future. The first step, really, is to just stop gambling. Stop treating your biggest life decisions like they're lottery tickets. We have to see them for what they are, matters of survival and growth.
This ancient wisdom is just timeless. And what it means is that your next big move, whether it's a startup, a new job, it demands way more than just a gut feeling. It demands real, rigorous, and honest calculation.
So how do we actually study it? How do we calculate our odds? Well, we use a 5-point inspection framework. I want you to think of it like the ultimate pre-flight checklist before you take off on any major endeavor.
Every single successful venture, from ancient military campaigns to today's hottest startups, it stands on these 5 pillars: the mission, the timing, the terrain, the leadership, and the systems. If you get these right, you are building on solid rock. So let's break them down one by one. Okay, it all starts with the mission. This is your why. Is your entire team, and I mean everyone, united by one single compelling purpose? A cause they're actually willing to sacrifice for? Because if that alignment isn't there, your foundation is already cracked. A great idea at the wrong time is, well, it's a failed idea. That's why timing is so critical. Are the market trends and the whole economic climate a tailwind pushing you forward, or are they a headwind you're constantly fighting against? You have to know which way the wind is blowing. Next, you have to look at your terrain, your specific battlefield. What are you actually bringing to this fight? You need to take stock of your resources: cash, skills, connections. Do you have the high ground with a clear advantage, or are you stuck down in a crowded, competitive swamp? Now, this next factor, leadership. This one forces you to take a really honest look in the mirror. Does the leader, and maybe that's you or maybe it's someone else, do they have what it takes for victory? The wisdom to see the right path, the integrity to be trusted, the courage to actually act, and the discipline to see it all the way through.
And the final pillar, your systems. This is the engine that drives your execution. A brilliant strategy with broken systems? That's just a race car with a clogged fuel line. It's not going anywhere. Are your processes smooth and efficient, or are they a constant source of friction?
Okay. Assessing your own position with those 5 factors, that's the first half of the work. But strategy doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? To truly know your odds, you have to measure yourself against the competition with just ruthless honesty. And this is where the real calculation begins. You take these factors and you put them to the test, side by side. Who has the more compelling mission that's going to attract the best talent? Whose leader is more disciplined and decisive when the pressure is on? Who has better timing? Who has stronger resources or smoother systems? You have to go down this list, for you and for them. This whole exercise forces a kind of brutal, uncomfortable honesty. It's not about what you wish was true. It's about seeing the battlefield exactly as it is. The gaps you find here, that's where your strategy is born.
So, once your cold, hard assessment is finally done, the game totally shifts. You move from analysis to action. It's no longer just about seeing the field, it's about shaping it in your favor.
This is where you create what we call favorable conditions. You start building momentum before the battle even begins. You build that powerful brand, you stockpile a war chest full of cash, you lock down those key partnerships, you are actively setting the stage for a win that to the outside world looks easy, because all the hard work was done in advance. Now this is where strategy gets really, really clever. A core part of shaping the field is about managing perceptions. It's about creating an information advantage. The game is played in the minds of your rivals.
For example, if you're strong and you're ready to launch, you can actually lull a competitor into a false sense of security. You downplay your strengths, make them underestimate you, right up until it's way too late.
Or you could do the opposite. You could make them think you're standing still, that you're focused on something else entirely. You look idle, inactive, right before you launch your biggest, most decisive move.
And this just brilliantly illustrates the ultimate goal of all this calculation and positioning. The most effective, the most decisive blow is always the one your rival never, ever sees coming.
So, after all this, the assessments, the comparisons, the positioning, what is the single most important takeaway from this entire strategic playbook? What's the big idea? It's this. Victory isn't decided on the day of the battle, or the day you launch your product. It's decided long before that, in the quiet of the planning room, through careful, methodical calculation. You've got to remember this. The more calculation you do, the more likely you are to win. The less you do, the more likely you are to lose. And no calculation at all? Well, that's not a strategy. That's just a guaranteed path to failure. So that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. As you look at your next big decision, your next project, your next move, what is the one crucial calculation that you've been avoiding? Because the answer to that question just might be the key to everything.